when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. One go, three, go. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all. In the afterglow, in the afterglow. Whoa! It all started with the passion, it all sounded like a dream. Remember how you kept on laughing, now you're trapped in your own skin. The anxiety growing.
It is Friday night. It is time for some Smackdown. OMD is not here just yet, but I am here with one Chris Parrish, who is not making a run-in. How you doing?
I just want to stay flat-footed for one day and not have to run all over the place. But I am doing well. Thanks for asking. And hopefully we get a lot of people on my Instagram. For the first time, I am streaming a live show on my Instagram account.
Yeah, this is actually exciting because I actually did not know that we had that ability on StreamYard.
Yeah, there's a lot to go into it, but yeah, it is doable. So,
yeah.
If you're chatting on Instagram, let me know.
But right now we are looking at last week when Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes were kind of thrust together as a tag team.
Yeah.
Or a potential tag team, I should say.
Yeah, and you kind of have to look at the logistics here of if you're other people on the roster, like hypothetically, if you're Randy Orton or Kevin Owens or even Jimmy Uso, you're kind of looking at like, okay, well, we were always against, or we were either fighting with Cody Rhodes or fighting with Roman Reigns to go against the counterpart. Now all of a sudden they're teaming. Like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm. Even I saw a post with this, but even Seth Rollins too.
Yeah. But I mean, Seth Rollins, like he's also in a weird way. You're the one who teamed up with Cody Rhodes after you had 3 hellacious matches with the guy. So you kind of did the same thing first, actually.
But we are going to get a face-to-face with Roman and Cody Rhodes. And just as the title of the show, will they find common ground tonight?
I don't know. If you really want to get my real depth hopes of what to expect, make sure you're checking out the Chris Parrish podcast this Sunday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. But I am very intrigued with what these two are going to be doing going into Bad Blood, because it just doesn't make sense that both men who wrestled in the last 2 main events of WrestleMania are now tagging with each other.
But what does make sense is what I just saw on my screen: Jacob Fatu beating the snot out of a bunch of security guards.
Yeah. Good old Jacob Fatu.
I really cannot wait to see where he is 3-4 years down the road with the WWE.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, we're starting off with a banger. U.S. title match is starting off the show.
oh yeah, I probably should have told you that.
Yeah.
I actually did know that.
I actually like being surprised in some things. Like when you sent me earlier today that Nick Aldis announced that we're getting a tornado tag team match as opposed to a regular tag team match later on tonight.
Well, I just wanted to make sure it gets in the description, so we're as updated as possible for all the good people that watch us live.
But a part of me thinks that this U.S. title match is going to end in some sort of shenanigans because I just get the feeling that Mello and Andrade are not quite done yet, and I feel like a triple threat is on its way.
Yeah, or we have Carmelo costing Andrade this opportunity, or quite possibly we could see some new faces potentially help Andrade. I don't know. Well, we'll just have to let them cook, let everything play out.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not going to go too specific because, well, as you said, a surprise is good to have once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Is that a new Titantron for Andrade?
I believe it is. And he's not wearing his signature mask either.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Even though his Titantron does have a mask on it. Not gonna lie, I do like new graphics for Andrade. They're a little bit more modern.
Yeah, it's very colorful. I like it though.
I like just it's a different feel. It's a different aura for him. It does have a little bit of that nightlife, which, if you remember him from NXT before the Zelina Vega affiliation, he kind of was going out on the towns a lot. So it kind of throws back, but also something that's different. It's a little fresh. The last time we kind of saw anything around that was kind of the Brawling Brutes, but that was also a little bit different. So it's a nice little spin on something old, but something new as well.
Yeah. And already an athletic match right off the get-go between these two gentlemen, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as to expect, right?
Yeah. And commercial break. So today for my dinner, I had one of the most disgusting meals ever. Vegan mac and cheese. It was gross.
Well, your first mistake was the vegan part.
Yeah. But I managed to offset the vegan with smoked turkey thigh, so.
Well, I mean, it's not really vegan then if you're putting that in.
Yeah. I de-veganized the meal. It was free, so can't complain about that part really, but
So it was more freegan than vegan.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. The fun part of now streaming for everything, I got to deal with a lot of little interruptions every now and then.
How so?
Well, if I want to watch it on my one TV, I have to AirPlay it from my phone to that, or else I'm watching it on a different device. But
Right.
this way I can kind of keep it normal from what I'm used to doing. But if I am to want to check something on my phone, then if it has a video, that automatically replaces the AirPlay to it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yes, I got to worry about those kind of fun things and just kind of getting in a new groove on how I consume stuff now.
Yeah.
The fun part is if people are like, well, why don't you just download the app on your TV? Well, it doesn't. So that's fun. And then when I go on the internet on it to do so, it doesn't allow me to enter my verification code properly. So
You're talking about Sportsnet? I've been having that same issue on my PlayStation 4. I can't watch NXT until 11 o'clock now.
It's not so much I can't. It's just like every time I go to hit it, if I hit 1, it goes 1. But then if I hit like 7, it still hits 1. So even if I type in the correct number, it only reads it as one specific digit, and then it enters it as that specific one, not the one I'm putting in. So it's
okay, that's a little bit
let's just say it's putting the FU in frustration. Yes, I just came up with that, by the way.
I love it.
I thought it was quite entertaining. But now I am very intrigued if we're going to see moving forward a little bit of change in the set on SmackDown. I'm still hoping we do. Not saying I'm going to be petty and saying I want that more than anything, but it's just one of those things where it just adds to it, and I think that's important.
Yeah, I'm on board, and I want to see SmackDown and Raw have different sets. I also want the PLEs to have different sets too, so that they can stand out as well.
Yeah, and maybe that's just something that they're going to just do is PLE gets sets, or I don't know. Like, I really don't know. And I'm going to assume now that we enter in the final, or soon to be in the final quarter of the year, that we're going to really see kind of I know businesses tend to kind of just watch what they do. And speaking of watching what we do, let's watch as OMD is awkwardly going to join us in 3, 2, 1. I had a countdown. Sorry.
I see that. Gentlemen, how the hell are we doing?
Doing pretty good.
A little bit of all right.
Excellent.
How are you doing?
Exhausted and cold.
Well then, rest up, because we got a classic going on right now. A United States Championship match with L.A Knight and Andrade.
I do see that. I've just got Smackdown on it. Literally, I kicked on just as I was booting in here. So,
And these guys are putting on a clinic right now. I take it you had to work. You had to work all day out in that rain, eh?
Well, I was in shop today, but I mean, we had freight arrive at 8, so I put in a 12-hour day today. And yes, even 3 coffees and all of that still really hasn't helped much.
I might be a little overkill then. Might just be working against each other at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this the opening contest on SmackDown tonight?
Yes.
Yep. There was no opening promo or anything. It just went. Well, they showed Jacob Fatu beating up a bunch of security guards, but that's about it.
Okay.
That was more that like just showing like the kind of the intro to SmackDown, kind of people coming in to the building,
Right.
what to expect with Cody and Roman, and then as Jacob Fatu is going through the security, he gets mad and beats them up.
Yeah.
Sometimes the guy just doesn't like people touching them, so.
Right. And lots of reported news reportedly involving SmackDown and potentially Raw as well today.
Mm-hmm. We will get to that at the next commercial break.
Yeah.
Which is right now, so do tell.
Apparently starting January 3rd, SmackDown will be 3 hours for 6 months. As well as potentially a draft coming before the move to Netflix. And one other thing was, apparently when they go to 3 hours, SmackDown replays for USA will air on Netflix the next day.
Yeah. Now, just out of curiosity, because the three of us are Canadian, so I know like right now we can get all Canadian WWE on Sportsnet.
Right.
How is how is this going to go to Netflix for Canadians? Because I know in Americans, everything from Peacock is going straight over to Netflix for the Raw, and they're going to get SmackDown on CW or NXT on CW and SmackDown on USA. So they're covered on there. Do we just get everything on Netflix?
Oh, yeah, we're getting
January
everything.
1st hits everything, including the WWE Network moves to Netflix.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I just wasn't sure if Sportsnet was still going to play anything.
Sportsnet is reportedly going to be getting AEW.
Man, TSN really doesn't like keeping things, don't they? They just love losing out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they lost out on hockey, which was dumb.
Yeah.
They only had the best analysts and panel for it, and then they're just like, we're gonna talk about something that we can't really show you because we don't own the rights to it yet. We got you covered.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, we need just more Blue Jays because that brings in everyone who.
Right, and and the Raptors.
Sportsnet has the Blue Jays, so.
Yep.
What? It's like, we need to give you poker and curling and all the sports that nobody watches, but they do.
No, TSN's lost curling to Sportsnet too.
Yeah, but okay, they still have curling, just not the important stuff.
Yeah, like they don't have Team Canada. They don't show the Team Canada curling games or anything of that nature.
No. Yeah, because I don't think they can do anything that involves Olympic qualifiers or anything like that. So I think Sportsnet owns all the Olympic qualifiers stuff now, which used to be TSN. Good job.
Well, and it's funny because I saw the Leafs broadcast schedule, and they're getting, I think it's 26 games are on TSN. Amazon is getting 6 games, and then the rest are on Sportsnet.
And I bet you everybody has to cater their schedule for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, do you remember watching Raw in the 90s and it being preempted some Monday nights because the Leafs game was on?
Oh, no. This is me being, I do not understand why the Oilers still have to play at 5 o'clock our time on Saturdays against Toronto when that game can't be the 8 o'clock. And maybe John Tavares has to maybe just not go to bed in his little pajamas that say Matt Sundin on them.
I don't know.
All this favoritism, and he can't get past the first round.
Well, that's why he's potentially our $11 million third line center this year.
Again, and you wonder why he can't get past the first round. Speaking of getting past the first round, we got Andrade, who did that as he became the new speed champion, going up against L.A. Knight. Well, let me tell you, I believe that guy has gone through many rounds in his climb to become United States champion.
Oh, he definitely has.
Yes, he has.
Segue. Solid.
I mean, he won a best of 5 to get here, so.
Mm-hmm. Nope, not going to go there. Nope. This is a really good match.
Yeah.
It is.
Which is something the Blue Jays can't do. They can't win a best of 5 if their life depended on it.
No, they can't. By the way, how did your World Series go last night or on Wednesday night? Did you?
I won the World
finish off the
Series.
Dodgers?
Yep. 6 games I beat them.
Okay.
And just as I told you, Ohtani gave me a fucking run.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna guess you were the World Series MVP.
Yeah. And now I've got a stacked squad on my team, so I'm not leaving the White Sox.
Right.
Because we got Teoscar Hernandez, Anthony Santander, Andrew Benintendi now, and myself
Nice.
as the first 4 batters.
For all the people watching who don't care about baseball, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nerd alert! No, just kidding.
But Andrade is definitely proving his worth as to why he should be the number 1 contender at the U.S. title right now.
Yes.
Yeah, Bess, we were talking off screen a couple days ago about potentially putting Zelina Vega back. And I remember saying, I think Andrade is just going too good right now. And I don't want to see them break something up just because of nostalgia.
One moment, guys. I am getting a phone call.
Thanks for the interruption.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying to me, not him.
Like, paging Dr. Irrelevant. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think Andrade is just absolutely clicking in all cylinders right now. That maybe, just maybe, the nostalgic deck that we loved from the past with his relationship with Zelina Vega could actually just be a little bit more of a falter, because I don't think it's an argument anymore. Andrade is a lot farther off right now on his own than I think Zelina Vega is. So why tinker with something that we just want to see where it goes right now? Like I say that not discrediting Zelina Vega by any means, but just really promoting the work Andrade has done since coming back to the company.
Yeah, I've given it some thought since we had that discussion, and I'm now on that side where I don't need to see Zelina with him. It would be great though, like maybe if at a PLE they're in the locker room and they pass by each other and they just have that little nostalgia moment. You know what I mean?
Oh no, they've had that though.
Mm-hmm.
They've had it.
Oh, that's right too. I forgot she was on SmackDown.
Yeah.
When he came to WWE, I forgot all about that.
And not to mention when Andrade signed, when he signed with Raw, remember, he even said to then general manager of SmackDown, Nick Aldis, which is still the current one, but he's like, make
Mhm.
sure you say hi to Zelina for me. So he acknowledged his past. And then now it's just funny how Eddie Murray this and they've traded places.
And I just got the finish. Are we on the same page here?
No, because I'm going through my phone, which is a little behind. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be, I don't think I'm that far. Plus, I had that interruption earlier.
Right.
Oh, LA. Jesus, LA. LA footwork. Nah, nah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
when he slipped climbing up the climbing the ropes.
Oh, man. That was first. You don't succeed. You try again. Yeah, I am going to try to get this on the app, but I just don't want it interrupting with anything right now. And I didn't want to do it during the show. I wanted to do it during during commercial.
Yeah.
So with this match, where does your stock now go with Andrade as a singles competitor vying on the SmackDown roster?
I need another match with him in LA after this one. I really do want to see some kind of a rematch. I do eventually see him challenging for the heavyweight title at some point. Like him and Cody, I think would put on a fantastic match.
Oh yeah, and that's something I remember saying last week that I wouldn't mind the one-off, and it'd be very intriguing just to see kind of how that would work out. So I am now live because I'm sure you're getting a Tiffany Stratton Nia Jax promo.
Yeah, Nia just walked off, then walked back on screen. So I was thinking that the tag team match might close the show tonight, but the way they're hyping this Roman and Cody thing, I think that's what's going to end the show.
I really do hope because it is high stakes, but I can
And
understand why it
they,
doesn't because Cody and Roman are bigger in the sense
yeah,
of what's driving all the attention ticket sales. But it would also be really good just for the stocks of not only Tiffany Stratton, Nia, Naomi, and Bayley, and even for the women's championship to give them a little bit of source of recognition as a top draw on the show.
they just announced that Cody and Roman are up next, as I
Yeah.
said that. And there's the first promo for Saturday night's main event, December 14th. There's a part of me that really hopes that they use the old theme song for that show.
Part of
But
me is wondering the theme song that they had there might be the actual theme song.
I didn't get a chance to hear it because I got it quieted on my side.
Oh yeah. No, I have you and the SmackDown audio going at the same time now. It's fun.
That's how Carl does the show.
I know. I don't know how he does that. It's really annoying. With the lack of sleep he gets, I don't know how he stays sane. But maybe, just maybe, that is why, Dr. Pepper, you deserve a raise.
I thought you were going to segue into Rogue Energy, where if you go to rogueenergy.com, you can use the discount code PARISH and save yourself 10%.
Well, that's how I get through my days. But we all know Carl loves his Dr. Pepper. So I was putting myself in the body of Carl. And let me tell you something. Okay, change. But he definitely loves a little bit of Dr. Pepper. I, on the other hand, go Rogue. Can I get a burger with a side of fries? How's that for my stoner drive-through?
That was just brilliant.
Speaking of stoner drive-through, OMD is back.
And now he's just...
and that's why if you leave, remove your screen, please.
Yeah.
No, I am back. It was my dad calling, so.
I didn't call you.
You're Bubba's daddy, not mine.
Oh, no, I'm everyone's.
No,
I am the station's father, all right?
No, you're like that weird uncle that nobody talks about.
No, we don't want to know what your past relationships are like. But what we're getting is potentially a main event women's tag match in this show.
Yes.
As we're told that Cody and Roman are going to be coming face to face next. What are your thoughts?
I am intrigued. Because this is going to be very, very interesting to see if they can come to an agreement or if this is just sort of done out of necessity to get them to the opportunity to face each other. And then, yes, like I was able to keep track of everything going on while I was on the phone. So.
Okay, so you saw the finish of the U.S. title match then?
I did.
Oh, they're in Sacramento, California. Bayley's going to get a huge... That's part of the reason why they're in the main event. Bayley's from that area.
Bayley is from San Jose.
Yeah. Which is not that far from Sacramento.
No.
Because I believe even Anaheim and L.A. are like within a half-hour driving range.
Anaheim is a suburb of L.A.
Yeah, but just like I'm just talking from like this, like the Staples Center to the Honda Center. Yeah, I'm using those names. I don't care about Crypto.com Arena. That is like dumbest name. Even Jobbing.com Arena was a better name.
I hear you.
Nothing made me more happy knowing that the Saints turned away Pornhub for their naming rights.
To be fair, I'm not really a fan of corporate names naming their arenas. So,
hey, we had the Caesars Superdome, and I was okay with that one.
To be fair, I also liked it when the Superdome was called the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
And then the Falcons had to steal because, they need to be like everyone else. Can't do their own thing.
Well, let's look at Scotiabank. The Scotiabank Center in Toronto. The Scotiabank Saddle Dome in Calgary, which we don't talk about because it's Calgary. And we know that Parrish practices his ABCs.
Yeah, anybody but Calgary.
Exactly.
But I also follow the AT&T model and all troll Toronto, so it's all good. on the spot thinking, what up?
I was going to say, that's one I'd never heard before, so.
Yep. Straight from this dome. One where there's more Cubs, Calgary. Be jealous.
Well, like even our local arena, which at one time, when it
Hola?
was built, it was called the Steelback Center. Hola. It was called the Steelback Center for a time, but we all still called it the Gardens because our original arena was just the Sioux Memorial Gardens.
I mean, I think we all can agree like nicknames for arenas are always better than what they were actually called.
Mm-hmm. Well, like again, the Honda Center, the Pond, everybody calls it that, right?
Because we were getting a very intriguing segment already. For all the people that want to know why it's Georgia Tech, that is exactly where Roman Reigns went to college.
Yes, and because Cody is from Atlanta as well.
Mm-hmm. And that is also, I believe, the home of Bad Blood. So if anybody's going to Bad Blood and they want to be smart, wear some black and gold. So far, it's a pretty dominating color scheme, if you ask me. Just ask Georgia Tech. Brought it back.
Wow.
Well, holy shit.
That's why the game changed when Triple H takes over. When you get production like that, everyone liked to call the bloodline stuff cinema. And right in front of your eyes, you saw an example of cinema.
Yes.
You understood now the relationship between a tag team for Bad Blood.
I now firmly believe that it's going to be Roman and Cody at the Royal Rumble for the title.
Once again, if you want to hear something, as we say hello to Basser. Basser, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. How did
Thanks
you
for coming
enjoy
in.
that last segment? But if you want to hear what I think could happen and what I'm predicting, check out the Chris Parrish podcast this Sunday, because I'm going to keep my lips sealed until then. But I am very intrigued with the build to Bad Blood.
Myself as well, and of course it is a show, Parrish, that neither of us get to see live. Unfortunately, you of course have your beautiful son's first birthday, and I have a wedding that night.
But attention I will pay nonetheless.
Yes.
And to be fair, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be doing a PLE patrol that day because I get paid that weekend.
Right.
So I might not even be home. So
He's going to Vegas, people. He's putting it all on red.
yep.
Actually, not even. He's even going bigger. He's going for those double zeros, that green zero there. Everything's going on that. Looking for the biggest PO of a lifetime. A PO that it's very hard to come by nowadays.
Yes.
So, predictions on maybe what we could see at Bad Blood as we talk about not watching it live, but our thoughts going into the build up to Bad Blood, what to expect. What are you guys thinking? Are we going to see a straight up tag match? Are we going to see Roman keep his word? Are we going to see Cody have Roman's back? Do we see a fallout of the bloodline in any way? What do we expect in this tag match on October 5th?
I am expecting in this tag match, Cody is going to get beaten down, jumped in the back, maybe taken out, leaving Roman without a partner. Which is then when we hear, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And I have a tag team partner for Roman Reigns, and it is Jimmy Uso.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that, but at the same time, it's kind of crapping on the fans who paid to watch Cody in the main event.
Right. And I don't even think that match is main eventing the show.
No, it's probably going to be Drew and Punk, I think, ends the show.
No, I have a feeling it could be either the opener or perhaps the co-main event. I do see that they could make this one a very headed show. I mean, also take into account that Cody was the one in the segment to announce Bad Blood in Atlanta, his hometown. I also would not be surprised if it was, because there could be something big happening And if that's the case, you kind of want that to be your final visual of the night.
Yeah. But I also wonder if that's maybe where we do see the debut of Hikuleo or the return of The Rock. Though I'm almost thinking that if they were going to do that, they should have done Hikuleo last week.
But now we have a major outlier in this whole thing, and that's the man who is watching this promo in the locker room. And I'm talking one Kevin Owens now.
Yeah.
He's gonna. I think he's gonna find his way to be involved. As right now, we're watching Giovanni Vinci make his way to the ring after his shocking loss from a couple weeks ago.
Yes. I'm going to suggest this is if Cody gets taken out prior to that match and we get the Jimmy Uso, but then we get the debut of Hikuleo, do we maybe see Cody come down to even the odds?
I guess this all depends on the story they plan on telling.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I do want to say, we are seeing a lot of Giovanni Vinci taking his time to unrobe in his jacket, hensing the opportunity Apollo took to win. We don't see any pants. We don't see any jacket on Giovanni Vinci. Is this where we see a fragrance called domination?
So far, it looks like it. Sorry, OMD, you were saying?
I was going to say, I think this is what we're going to get. I think Giovanni is probably going to beat down. Apollo will get in some offense, but it's going to be more or less a squash.
But we're getting a definite reminder as to just how savage Giovanni Vinci can be in the ring.
Yes.
I find it very interesting that Giovanni Vinci gets kicked out of Imperium only to come back, still a heel, on another show.
Right?
Now, what happens if we get to one of those cross-branded PLEs where Imperium or Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci cross paths? What then?
I think you're going to see them probably do the heel thing and associate with each other and say, good to see you doing well. Or they're just going to beat the absolute shit out of each other.
Or they're just going to laugh at Giovanni Vinci because he just lost another match.
You do know OMD's behind.
No, apparently I missed the finish, but I had it.
Walking away from that one. Very, very much intrigued with how they plan on using Giovanni Vinci.
All right, so KO is making his way to the ring to talk about what he just saw. You're muted, Parrish.
Yeah, and do you realize there's a delay here?
So was I. And I was unmuting at the same time.
I thought you guys were caught up because I gave you guys ample amount of time.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh, you didn't. Count. When you see something, count to 10. And then both guys. Like, I'm slightly ahead
And I did.
of OMD. No, you didn't. Because I counted to 10, and I'm now at a commercial break.
Yeah.
That's why I use that example. I'm slightly ahead of OMD. I'm like maybe 4 to 5 seconds behind you. Not that much.
Yeah.
But again, I have audio of both going on, so I would appreciate it.
No, I happened to miss the finish, and but yeah, I'm intrigued by what Kevin Owens has to say, especially because he said he was going to go try and talk Cody out of this. So
I wonder if this is going to be an example of the people that were fighting for Cody are going to try to tell Cody to get out. And then Cody does his own thing because that's what Cody does. To the point where maybe something happens to Cody and nobody saves him because other people are just tired of fighting other people's battles because that's exactly the irony. That's exactly what they're trying to tell Cody not to do.
Yep.
I wonder if this leads to the KO turn that we all thought was going to happen at the last PLE.
Honestly,
Or,
I think
I shouldn't say we all thought, but the IWC thought. I mean,
Yeah, because what do they know?
yeah.
But see, and I think Parrish is onto something because if these guys get tired of it, it's not necessarily a heel turn. It's just that they're fed up. They're frustrated that all their efforts have gone for nothing.
What?
Because Cody just sort of kicked them all in the teeth.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued because it almost seems like there is so many different layers going on because there's so many different characters with so much going on that trying to find an even parallel is very, very much going to be specific here. And I think we're trying to find the parallel with Cody because you'd think after his cage match against Solo, he should be done with Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can understand Roman wanting to come back. They're 1-1. I get that. Then you have potentially when The Rock comes back. There's that for Cody. But this is a fight that I don't know. Like Cody easily could have just did the Abe Simpson and just backed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful arena.
It is.
And speaking of which, Ottawa Senators finally getting a new arena.
Yes, they are.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Got
10
approved
acres
today.
of land on LeBreton Flats.
Not just any 10, the perfect 10.
Sean Spears, a.k.a. Ty Dillinger, will not be there, but
Hey, you don't know. He is an Ontario boy.
he is.
But I do believe he is a Maple Leafs fan. Why? I don't know, but he is.
Well, because he is from Niagara. I believe Hamilton originally, but grew up in Niagara Falls.
Oh, I know. That was an open-ended. I'm at the point now where I'm listening to people's themes and I'm just wondering, is this one going to get changed? Is that one going to get changed? Like, I mean,
I'm sort of thinking that same way too, you know? I kind of hope that KO's doesn't get changed though, because it's kind of become synonymous with him.
yeah. I mean, I did hear rumors kind of earlier in the year that he wasn't necessarily going to get a theme change, but perhaps lyrics added. So it'd be interesting to see if they still go that route or what they do. But I don't think his theme was even a Dev Rebel one to begin with. So I think that was the CFO. I mean, before we're out, if KO does want to get involved in this, bring in Randy. Bloodline does have the tag titles. Just saying.
I like where you're going with that one, Parrish. I really do. KO is just gold. Okay.
Main event.
I didn't even have that on my cards tonight.
No, me neither.
OMG, I know that you had when you were hearing the right-hand man speak, but now that you saw everything kind of develop, what did you think?
I am intrigued because, like Beth said, I did not have that when I first saw the Bloodline coming out. I was anticipating Randy Orton coming out, and we could get what you suggested, KO and Randy versus the Bloodline for the tag belts. But I'm going to be interested in seeing where this goes, if this is going to result in potentially a triple threat tag match now with DIY, KO, and Randy and the Bloodline.
Or we could just see DIY challenge Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa for the tag titles, and we see Jacob Fatu and KO go one-on-one.
We could do that too. See, I had this match pegged as the main event.
That's what I thought as well.
I'm still going to go out and tell people, if you like Nia Jax's first theme, this one actually is, I think, better.
It's growing on me a little bit.
The lyrics are solid. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whilst we are in commercial break, I am going to take a moment for myself.
Awkward.
That's he takes himself off camera for that at least.
Didn't mute himself, so I did that because, well, after you're saying I'm going to take a moment for myself, you might want to make sure you turn the audio off. Yeah.
Anyways, how about this show so far?
How about this show so far? I'm getting a lot, and to think that this is a show heading into a third hour, we're only going to get more time to tell more stories. We're going to get more time to add more characters to the TV with the rumors of WWE adding these people, that people. We're just going to get more bang for your buck, I guess, when you want to say, like, you're gonna have to spread that dollar evenly, but what you're doing is you're almost increasing the amount here. So instead of just spreading $1, you're spreading $2 over. So how are you going to do that extra dollar? And that's what I think is going to be very intriguing now with SmackDown going to possibly 3 hours. If this was 5 years ago, I'd be saying, please no. But now with what we get out of WWE programming, I'm very, very much looking forward to not only what talent gets kind of more eyes on them, kind of what stories get told more, because we're going to see the length of an average story and feud kind of take that much longer as well. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm with you now. I wasn't so certain about SmackDown going to 3 hours, but I do like the idea that we are going to get more exposure for the wrestlers we don't really see. Like, for instance, Baron Corbin, who's only been in like backstage segments. We might actually get some matches out of him for once, you know?
Quick little moment for yourself, but we're talking about a third hour and how to look forward to that for SmackDown. OMD, what are your thoughts to the third hour?
I'm intrigued by it, and I'm hoping if they're going to do it, it goes longer than 6 months. I'm sure it's probably a trial basis for USA. Though it's going to make for a very long Friday night.
We're old. We want to stay in anyway.
Right.
Well, look at it this way. Those 3 hours on Raw seem to go by pretty fast, especially when we're all together doing it.
They do.
Yeah, we just make fun of each other for 180 minutes and then it's over.
Right.
But like I was saying, OMD, I was saying, Parrish and I were saying that this could lead to more exposure for the talent that we don't normally see on SmackDown.
Right, and that's what we're hoping for, but I'm also hoping that we'll maybe get some more title matches and maybe not just the token ones. So hopefully we'll actually get some title changes as well.
Yeah, and I was alluding to, we're going to see a lot more talent, not necessarily just on our screens, but we're going to see maybe the average length of the story being told. We're going to see some more matches. We're going to see some longer matches. We're going to see just a little bit less limitations that maybe we do get in 2 hours. And they do a really great job of not limiting what we see, but we are left wondering, why aren't they using this person? Why is this person never on? Especially now with the women's tag titles kind of getting a little bit more recognition. Maybe we get that. Maybe we get more secondary women feuds on the show as well.
Yes. And I am going to be intrigued if we do get a draft before the move to Netflix for Raw.
What if that Saturday night's main event is based around the draft? Could that pull in some viewers, maybe?
I think it could. What I'd like to see them do, too, with the draft is instead of doing this 5 picks per round for each brand, is I want to see them go back to the old school and you have a match to determine the pick.
I wasn't too big a fan on that one.
I don't know. I like it better than this 5 picks per round between, and it's 3 for Raw. Because now it's going to be 3 for Raw, 3 for SmackDown.
Well, I mean, it should be. If they're going to be on even playing fields now with the time, it should be even playing fields in the draft rounds. But my thing is, are we going to see a full-out draft, or are we going to get just maybe a smaller kind of supplemental one where maybe we see kind of like if an expansion team comes in hockey, we see protected members in here, and maybe not just the champions are protected, but maybe they change up kind of the mid-card, the undercard a little bit, so by the time they do go to the big draft, that's when all of a sudden we see a little bit more people being able to disperse.
The other one I'm going to potentially throw into the mix is, do we see now with the crossover between NXT and TNA, do we see both of those brands involved in the draft?
It'd be very intriguing if we see Raw, SmackDown, NXT, now that NXT is going to be coming up of a touring brand. And I think you probably keep the TNA with NXT, and so if you are brought on NXT, that could be an opportunity where now all of a sudden you get TNA exposure. That sounded weird. You get an opportunity to go on Total Nonstop Action broadcasts. But because I don't know contractually if you're able to do that,
right?
Kind of what their work relationship is like.
Yeah, I mean that all depends on what the deal is with the WWE and TNA. We don't really know that what the full terms of that deal is, right?
Right. I mean, and I'm wondering too, because we did see a little bit of a tease when the Bound for Glory poster dropped with the P1 in the first O. So
That was something that was heavily rumored from the get-go,
right.
was that they were going to try to have AJ Styles involved with that. And
he's willing to do it. He wants to do it.
oh yeah, as long as
I
it's
don't
not in a
blame him.
6-sided ring.
Yeah.
But we're getting ourselves a little bit of an entertaining tornado tag team match right here.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I love this added stipulation of it being a tornado tag match and just the rationale and reason why.
Mm-hmm.
We won't be seeing Naomi and Bayley necessarily restrict their partner from going in to help maybe increase their chances on winning the match and getting the title shot. We're going to get more of an even playing field. And now that Nia Jax has told Tiffany Stratton that if you lose this match, maybe you should be the one who leaves SmackDown. Taking account, Tiffany Stratton right now is the only person on each roster that has a legit reason to go to whatever brand she has without being a champion.
Exactly.
I was just going to ask, does her Money in the Bank allow her to cash in on whichever women's champion she wants?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Taking account when Austin Theory was that he was going to all the shows too, and he was selected on one brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's just normally we don't get it. We just don't get somebody changing brands all that often anymore.
No.
And using that. We saw Charlotte do it when she won the NXT championship.
Yep.
With the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, even then, like, with the Money in the Bank, when was the last person that fully changed brands with the title win?
I'm not even really sure.
I want to say, was it Daniel Bryan?
No, he stayed on SmackDown, I believe.
Okay.
But also, that was also a time where everybody was on both shows, too.
Right.
Because that World Heavyweight title and the WWE title were prominently on both shows for a while around that time.
Right.
What show was Moxley on when he cashed in on Seth? I think it was Seth he cashed in on.
I believe it was Raw.
Yeah, and he was drafted to SmackDown shortly after.
Right. Oh, yeah, because the draft happened not long after he won that title.
Yeah, and Shane picked him first overall.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of their way of taking away the Seth and Ambrose stuff.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, he went right into a feud with AJ?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
I'm not very curious about who the last one was to do that.
I'm trying to go back through the
This is only where we wish our good friend Bobby Stats was in chat, as we all know that he does other priorities on Friday nights.
Yes.
This is where,
I mean,
Bobby, if only you were here.
Commander Data is supposed to know all of this stuff off by heart.
No, I'm not. I'm an android. The androids learn. Seriously, that's what Data actually was in Star Trek. He was designed to learn. You know.
Part of me kind of wants to go to Big E, in a way, because was New Day not SmackDown? Oh no, they had the draft where they split them up.
I wonder if it was.
Yeah, that's what they did.
I wonder if it was either CM Punk or Edge on his second run with Money in the Bank.
Well, I know when on CM Punk's second, I believe he stayed because he cashed it on Jeff Hardy at the pay-per-view. On his first one, he was drafted from ECW to Raw, and they had both champions drafted to SmackDown, and Batista had beat up Edge because he was I don't know what the deal was, and that was when CM Punk cashed in and kept the title on Raw, so Raw kept the title. And I believe in that Raw they had JBL versus Punk for the title. Making a run for that Commander Data, aren't I?
Yeah.
Was it? No, when the Miz won it, which I believe was the second Money in the Bank.
No, the Miz was a Raw.
Yeah, he was a Raw guy at that time.
Because that was after where he and Morrison were doing the tag in ECW, and then he was drafted to Raw, so he turned on Morrison.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that was when he was doing the stuff with Alex Riley after that NXT season 2, I believe it was.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has actually switched brands.
I'm sure somebody has. We just don't remember.
Ziggler?
No, he stayed on SmackDown.
When Baron Corbin
But he cashed in on Raw on Del Rio.
Yeah, but it was for the SmackDown title. Remember, it was the day after Mania where they canceled They didn't have the roster split then. They opened it up at that time.
Okay.
When Baron Corbin won his contract, he was SmackDown, but did he not cash it in on Raw?
No, he cashed it in and lost to Jinder Mahal because of John Cena interference.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm taking the title, I guess. I remember the cash-ins.
And then, the Dean Ambrose cash-in was an hour later. Mella, I know she cashed in on a SmackDown star.
What about when I believe it was Sheamus cashed in on Roman?
No, he was part of the League of Nations right before that, which was Raw, I think.
So we're talking about 2016. I think that's when he won. But I just missed the finish here.
We get it before you. No, that's karma. Guess we're getting a triple threat match.
That's yeah.
So I take it, did they both pin her, pin Nia?
And Tiffy doesn't lose, so she doesn't have to leave. Main event time.
Yes.
Geez, these 2 hours or hour and 26 minutes go by pretty fast.
Well, when you think about it already, you add Solo to one, Roman and Cody to the other. You bring back Rock, you got your 5-on-5.
There's your War Games or Survivor Series match, whichever they're going to do.
Which is, or you bring in Hikuleo and you don't do Rock yet, because I kind of wouldn't mind Rock making a return at Survivor Series where it kind of all started for him. I believe it'd be the 27th year anniversary. Oh no, 28 because he was at the 96. Where all of a sudden, who would have thought the shoulder breaker ended up being to the Usos' dad? Was like one of the biggest viewed or biggest things they always show of Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
And I believe it was from that because it was that elimination match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he beat Sultan in the final. It was either Sultan or Goldust, I want to say.
Oh, you're talking about the Survivor Series debut match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was neither. It was Crush.
Oh, dear God. That's a forgettable name.
Yeah.
No, but they were probably on the team, weren't they?
Yeah, they were on the team, but
Yeah.
Because it came down to just came down to Rocky, and it was him. It was Crush, Goldust, and the Sultan that were remaining on the other team. I can't even remember who the other teammate was, and Rocky just dominated them.
So it was Jake Roberts, Mark Merrow, the Stalker, and Rocky Maivia defeated Crush, Goldust, Lawler, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Okay, so Sultan wasn't even involved.
No.
But they did have a feud over the Intercontinental title going into WrestleMania 13.
They did. That's probably where it was then. In Chicago, of all places.
Yep.
So funny, though. Brock Lesnar's wife is in there. Goldust's wife, or ex-wife's there. So Cody's brother was in Rock's first WWF match.
Yep.
Oh, man, could you just imagine if Dustin Rhodes comes back at Survivor Series?
I mean, the history is there.
Yeah, right. And then Triple H was in there too, and now he's like running the show. Like, dear Lord, are we old? Or what?
And the only reason I actually remember that it was Crush that Rocky pinned to eliminate was because The Rock has told that story so many times.
We've established your Commander Data.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also do very vividly remember that pay-per-view, so because it was also the same show where Psycho Sid took the title from Michaels. And I really did not like that finish at that time, but I now understand why they did that.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that they're showing like the signs in the crowd now. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You're a weird guy, Ace. Weird guy. I got that reference.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I love Corey Graves' like just face.
Is it so weird though that in my head as I was watching that, I had William Regal's "He's a Man" theme playing in my head, but I changed the lyric to "She's a man."
Oh,
This is the one time where I'm like, OMD to your intelligent reaction to this.
very well done, but I really don't need another dumpster match after Braun and Kalisto a number of years ago, and the Outlaws versus Foley and Chainsaw Charlie. I'm good on dumpster matches.
It was Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, okay?
Yeah,
Well, that's why I said Mick Foley.
You forgot
Nope.
which one
you were
it was.
wrong.
I did.
It's Cactus Jack. Apparently, Kevin Owens has never had a pinfall victory over the Bloodline.
No.
Well, over any of the current members.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that stat sounded looked so wrong when I saw it there.
Well, you just forgot the word current.
Yeah.
But so did they.
No, they had it.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. Kevin Owens is like, screw it, I'll just fight all three of them.
Yep.
Well, I mean, obviously we expect which two people are going to be there. And then we know Kevin Owens is probably going to get the help from Randy Orton at some point.
Yep.
Mhm.
Then we see Solo come in, and then we get.
No, we're getting the Street Profits.
Mhm. No.
Well, I mean, the Street Profits also have their issues with the bloodline, as was noted a couple weeks ago in NXT when they got taken out.
I mean, everyone had, well, and it was also well before that too, with the number one contendership and the title match that they won.
True.
Yep.
Remember when Kevin Owens had no friends, and now there's like all these people that want to have his back?
Right?
Yeah. He's got Randy Orton, the Street Profits, DIY, Sami Zayn now.
Cody, Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably Jimmy when he comes back.
The New Day. Ricky
So
from
Kevin-
Seattle.
Right.
I just saying, Trips. You could have had Christopher from Edmonton. You chose against it. That was your loss.
Yep.
Well, they had a guy named Chris from Edmonton before.
No. I said Christopher.
True.
Yeah, Christopher.
Who knows? They could potentially have a guy named Rusev back.
This is where I want to remove you again.
I thought he signed an extension.
Yeah, and as of today, he's asked for his release.
Still contracted though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you ask some doesn't mean you get it, despite what 2024 tells you. But we'll be talking more about that this Sunday on the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15.
And I'm sure we'll be covering it on Tuesday as well on Turnbuckle Talk.
Yes. OMD will be 3 hours north of here Sunday at 12:15 and have no phone service to be able to catch the Chris Parrish podcast.
Yeah, but you know what? That's fine because after the live thing, you can go check it out on Spotify whenever you like.
Except I don't have Spotify.
Well, nobody asked you anyway.
You do have YouTube, so you can watch it. You can watch it again afterwards.
Yes, I can. But I do have a question for you after the show about YouTube.
Which one of us?
Okay.
You best.
They watch every move you make, and you got to be on your best behavior. Because if you use the wrong fork, you're out of the family.
All right. So I don't use the lobster fork to eat my salad. Got it.
Nope, but I'm pretty sure you can still have crabs anyway. But Street Profits, what do we think their involvement in this main event is going to be? And do we see them kind of being involved in bloodline stuff? Because I don't know, it just seems a little awkward with DIY and Street Profits.
Well, I was going to say, I think we just had this 6-man tag last week or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, with both DIY and the Street Profits around the tag team titles.
We had an 8-man, and that was Street Profit, or we had a 10-man. Was it 10-man? Or no, it was we had Street Profits and DIY. But then it was Cody as well. Wasn't it?
No, it was
after the
match. No.
Yeah.
Cody wasn't involved, but Solo was in there.
Yeah.
No, Cody and Solo had their thing going on too. This is why I think like the Hikuleo thing is going to happen probably quicker than people think, or at least by Bad Blood.
We got Polar coming in here saying, as a barber, I love this show. It is every stage of beard growth. I can speak English, I promise.
He really can't. He just learned it, and like now all of a sudden the head's gone. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. Funny thing is how often do we get that comment?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll one up you. We have the stages of beard color too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got mine. That's like the beautiful youth, which then will lead to OMDs, and then it goes to bests.
Yep. I'm gray as hell now with my beard.
So
you added the 51st shade of gray.
I did.
As OMD is stuck on about the 32nd shade right now.
Probably.
I caught that.
It wasn't subtle.
I love how Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa just seem to, week by week, it just seems like they just get more swagger with their character.
But you have to think that they're becoming a lot more comfortable with what they're doing and what's expected of them. Just being in the landscape of WWE, they probably just understand everything a little bit more. So they just feel not only more at home, but they feel a part of the family. Like, so, and they're doing it with people that they know. Like Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, they're no strangers to tagging with each other. And then you had Jacob Fatu, you had Solo Sikoa, who, there's history with just about everyone at some point. I'm going to ask this. Is Jacob Fatu set to be the workhorse of the 2025 Royal Rumble?
I think so. I think he gets that dominating run in the Royal Rumble. It's either him or Braun Breaker that's going to have that run.
I'm wondering if you're setting up for that as your big man meet.
Mm-hmm. Where like you have maybe Jacob Fatu dominating and then suddenly Braun Breaker makes his appearance or vice versa, right?
Yeah, because you'll probably break the speed record just running down that aisle, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wonder, now we saw Jacob Fatu a few weeks ago, of course, have to relinquish the tag team belt to Tonga Loa. Do we see Jacob Fatu get into a position to actually challenge for a U.S. title?
Potentially.
And then do we see Jacob Fatu as the U.S. champion collide with Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental champion, in the Rumble?
I mean, that would all have to depend on what happens on Monday.
Yeah.
Still at a kind of still at a standstill of like maybe we see people cost Jim RJ that chance that may or may not be on the Raw roster.
It's true too.
Right?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that's joining in and watching from my Instagram, as this is the first time I've streamed from my Instagram. I see a lot of people joined. I'm not in a position where I can see any comments. So right now, just thank you for taking your time and checking out the stream. Appreciate it. So who do you think gets the win in this match?
I've been going back and forth on this one, but I think I kind of want to see the Bloodline get their win without Solo out there.
I'm kind of hoping Tama Tonga gets the win over Montez.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, it's a win for the Bloodline. They can do it without Solo. There's a little bit more emphasis on the tag champs taking the prominent role. Jacob Fatu's not necessarily doing everything. You know, you're seeing other people put in, you know.
Yeah.
And then if they beat the Street Profits, it could be Bloodline's rationale to telling the Street Profits in the future, no, back of the line, we beat you how many times now?
Yeah.
And I do believe it was Angelo Dawkins who took the pin in that tag match.
It was.
So now they can say that they've pinned both members of the Street Profits.
Yeah. And this would allow for DIY to step forward and get their one-on-one tag title match.
Well, their rematch.
Yeah. So I don't think they got their rematch since they dropped the titles.
I don't know if they did or not. I don't remember.
OMD, you're muted, brother.
I know I was, but pro wrestling has gotten away sort of from that automatic rematch, and it's now sort of waiting 2 to 3 months before you get your rematch. And I'm okay with that. But so yes, it'd be nice to see DIY get their opportunity, but then where do you go from there?
I mean, they're getting away from it, but at the same time, they are still recognizing it. Whereas there was a point where when you lost the title, it's not like a common thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we are seeing it happen again. It is becoming more of a thing, but we're just not seeing it be an automatic thing, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It is interesting to me though that Solo still hasn't been on the show tonight though, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
You'd have to think it's for a reason. Like I'm thinking now, there's a specific reason why we haven't seen Solo yet. Is there something for him? Like, is he going to do something of value at the end? It's still in the back of my head that Solo's going to do something. It's like when Homer was seeing all the fight going in. He's like, look at the Chinese guy. He hasn't done anything yet. And you just know it's going. When he does, it's going to be big. You
Yeah,
shut the door, then all of a sudden he wipes everyone out and he does something. And he's like, oh.
Yep. No, I'm wondering if they're going to go back and maybe show Solo in an isolated spot in the stadium at Georgia Tech while Cody and Roman were on the field.
I hope he was in like a skybox or a suite watching it from afar. Like, oh, that'd be so good.
that's it. Yeah, that's really good thinking there, OMD. Man, KO is just a ball of fire right now.
Yep.
Cannonball.
And the more I think about it, the more I do want to see Jacob Fatu and KO have a one-on-one match now.
Right?
Now, think about this. Kevin Owens is the only man who's against the bloodline who's wearing bloodline colors. I'm super flexible.
Okay.
Oh, that's a new one.
Right.
There you go, Tonga. Oh, that's how you break up a pinfall in time.
Why was there a disqualification for throwing Owens into the steps?
I think it's more that the ref lost control of this match.
Yeah, because everybody's just brawling right now. Yeah, it was more. Yeah, it's more so he lost control of the match because every time KO went to go make a pin, somebody from the Bloodline was
Right.
interrupting it.
Now, it is a thing in wrestling where if the official gives a team a warning and says, if you do this again, I'm ending the contest.
Yep.
So I have voices in my head. I can just see it coming.
I could also see DIY trying to make a comeback out of this.
I mean, we have seen lately, though, WWE just allowing the beatdowns to go.
Yeah.
I like how Jacob Fatu is basically directing traffic right now.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Here had some kid in the first row collected some of Johnny Wrestling's spit.
Hmm. Let me know when you guys got to the end of the show.
I'm there.
I'm
Okay.
there.
I like that tease that KO did again.
Yep.
Mhm.
And their very reluctant handshake at the end.
So there we have it.
A
Yes.
very intriguing end to the show, I must say.
Yes, very intriguing, very entertaining 2 hours.
Yeah.
And just more questions than answers at this point, but it's not necessarily the result we need right now. It's the story they're taking us on.
Yes.
I'm wondering
absolutely.
if the loss that KO suffered to Cody Rhodes is actually eating at him. And that's part of the reason why we're seeing this as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if it's necessarily the loss. And I say that because I don't think it's the loss that eats at him. It's the fact that he is clearly making the change to be a better person himself. And every time he is at there's his own personal crossroads to better his career. And he's choosing against his career at this point. So he's always putting his personal success in pro wrestling aside for other things, whether it's the fans' expectations of him to be a better person, whether it's Cody Rhodes' expectation of being a good friend. And then you're seeing Cody Rhodes do and make these decisions that kind of go against what people are asking KO to do in a way.
Yep.
Don't get involved in the bloodline if you don't have to, or, you're in this fight because I need you. Well, Cody, you're not needed in this fight. You don't have to be in this fight. Why are you there? And now he's almost, in a weird way, pulling KO in by association. So is it really the loss that's eating up at Cody, or is it the things that KO that made him a prize fighter and made him successful early on? And what's changing him from that? Is that really the dictator right now? Is that not the struggle within for Kevin Owens?
Right. Yeah, so it's more or less a battle inside KO, a battle with his own morals, as it were.
Well, it is, and it's also now you almost have to look at it in the same way Drew McIntyre was looking at it. For a long point of time, we were saying Drew McIntyre was not the bad guy. He was just perceived to be that because there was somebody else that the people liked more. But he didn't do anything bad for a while.
Right.
If Kevin Owens snaps at Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes' decision of getting involved in the bloodline when he didn't have to affected Kevin Owens, how can you really fault Kevin Owens for being upset with Cody Rhodes? And I'm just saying that as a potential, not necessarily a thing, but if that was the case, a hypothetical, as you will, I don't know if I'm really faulting Kevin Owens for just getting a little pissed off.
Right.
It's sort of like what's going on with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. I mean, we saw Xavier flip out on Kofi because Xavier was not involved in any of the decisions that Cody was making.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
or Kofi, I should say.
Well, yeah, and it was one of those things where I think what we're seeing on that flip side, we're seeing maybe Xavier Woods being a little bit insecure on that end as well. And right now, I don't think we're seeing Kevin Owens being insecure. I think he's very secure on what he needs to do. It's just he's like, well, I got Randy, who's always had my side. He gives it to me straight. But now, right now, Cody Rhodes, he might have my back, but he's not giving it to me straight. And I'm like, and it'd be like, why? It's like,
Yeah.
I fought tooth and nail for him. I fought tooth and nail for this guy. I've seen Ricky from Seattle jump at the opportunity to be my partner. But Cody Rhodes, you took a beat down after they took away Street Profits, then DIY before you came out. Why so long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like it's a very valid concern. If that is the concern from Kevin Owens, he is very conflicted, and you can tell.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's because of insecurity. It's because of it's just based on his code, what he wants, and then also kind of where he's trying to go too. Because let's all face it, Kevin Owens probably wants to be world champion just as much as anybody else, but he also probably wants to do it the way he wants to do it. And then he's being tugged in so many different directions that eventually he does have his breaking point.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense there, Parrish.
And I mean, by that logic, I'm going to bring it right back around to the bloodline and asking, what did Solo actually do wrong in becoming the tribal chief? Who named him the tribal heir?
That was Roman.
Which tag team said they would follow Solo into battle if he was the new tribal chief?
Was that the Usos? Because I can't recall.
No. Usos actually flat out said they wouldn't in a promo.
No, they said they would. They were going to name Solo the tribal chief as opposed to Roman.
There is a promo, and it was right after, I think it was Jay and Jimmy both took themselves out, where they said that guy wants to be the tribal chief. I don't. He doesn't.
No, they said they would follow Solo. They weren't going to follow Roman.
But I don't think they would. I think what they meant is they'd rather have follow Solo than Roman, because Solo hadn't turned into what Roman had turned into at the time. I think it was a context thing.
Yeah, Solo was still kind of like wet behind the ears a little bit there.
Yeah.
But still, so really, I mean, Solo didn't do anything wrong, and this is Roman's insecurities now playing out. And
but Solo did put the beat down on Jimmy.
He did,
and on Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he also swore off Roman Reigns after Mania too.
Yeah.
He did the whole "you dropped the ball" angle to Roman after Roman lost the title. But sorry, Parrish, you were going to say?
I was just going to say he's no angel, but as to add to OMD's point, though, Solo's very much validated into why he's doing what he has to do. But I mean, he's also marked a point of who he's associated with and who he hasn't. Because the one guy that, nobody talks about the relationship now, because, it was said there was Jay. Like, he was at one point the right-hand man, and then now all of a sudden Tama Tonga is. That's why I think it would make a lot of sense for somebody like Tama Tonga to cost Jey Uso the Intercontinental Championship on Raw.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. But you know what else I can see? Us giving out our socials, starting with you, OMD.
People, you can find me on my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMD show.
And you, Mr. Parrish?
I mean, as someone that also has a Linktree, but instead of OMD show, it's Chris Parrish. You also want to check out rogueenergy.com, where you can check out all the beautiful flavors. Right now, my personal favorite, the blue raspberry, is now a sample, so check that out. But when you go to that checkout menu, hit the Parrish promo code to save yourself 10%. Also, this Sunday, 12:15 p.m. Eastern, 10:15 p.m. my time. You can check out the Chris Parrish podcast, which will debut on Instagram for the first time, as well as as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, where we have a plethora of topics where I predict who I believe all of AEW champions will lose the title to, as well as much, much more in regards to free agency and who has been rumored to join WWE.
Very interesting show. I'm looking forward to it, actually. And you can look for me at my link tree, Chris_Best83. Tomorrow night, going to be the final episode of The Last of Us Part 1. I'm at a loss for words right now because I'm freezing just a little bit here.
Let's go check it out. Like, subscribe, all that great stuff.
Yes.
And now, wait. I think we have a video too to show.
I've got 2 commercials I'd like to show if you don't mind.
Okay, that's selfish, but go ahead.
I'm going to show the promo for the next game I'm going to be moving on to, first of all.
Back in Boston? Back when I was bitten? I wasn't alone. My best friend was there. And she got bit too. She says, let's just wait it out. I'm still waiting for my turn.
All right, that's where you can find all of our programming. And OMD?
As I was trying to say, but the routine got changed up a little bit tonight. I was just getting used to a new one. Ladies and gentlemen, in the immortal words of Carl Carafel, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios, the Boar's Nest, and the Chris Parrish Podcast, good night, good luck, we out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your ground, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Break out. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack.